Alright guys, I'm back. So this is part 2. We're gonna be working on the calipers tonight. I was thinking of doing this on the car, but after looking at it, I decided not to. So I'm gonna definitely take the calipers off, and I'm gonna use a 14 millimeter. You'll also need a 12 millimeter for the brake line. Take off the brake line. Now we take off the caliper and set it down. Now we're going to take off the carrier. Take your brake pads out. There's one. Just like that. So now we can go ahead and take the carrier bolts out, which are these carrier bolts are right there. 1 and 2. Breaker bar. Let me move the camera for a second. And there we go. Alright, next up we're taking this one right here and this one right here. Top and the bottom. So for the caliper, you're gonna need a 14 for here, and you're gonna need a 17 for the carrier bolt. So take your 14 millimeter. What I do is just I give it a little hit like that. And another one, and then loosen right up. Remove the caliper bolts. Now we take a little pry bar, pry the caliper out, but first grab a 12 millimeter and remove the brake hose. I'm going to remove that, and I'll show you what that is. Pretty much it's right here, that bolt right there. Take that out, and that holds the brake line. The reason you want to take this out is so that it gives you ability to move the caliper all the way over and give you room. So there that comes out. Take a small screwdriver, flathead, and remove the ABS by pushing in on every side pretty much on the clips. You can remove the ABS line, and also this one here. And remove this. So I want this play so that you can take your caliper out and bring it underneath here, and now you can have all this play here and bring it down and laying it right here. Now we'll move on to the carrier. So this one and this one, it's a 17 millimeter. So remove that. Here's one. So break those two with a breaker bar with a 17 millimeter. Go ahead and remove those. Like that. Take your brake pads out of the carrier. They come right out. Take your little metal clips out. You can remove the disc if you want, but I'm gonna leave it on there. I took all the brakes apart, and then I taped up my car. Floors a little taped up there. The rear ready to go. First, we're gonna clean the caliper and everything else that we're gonna paint. Carrier, everything. And we're gonna clean that with brake cleaner. I'm going to use a couple little brushes. After we clean them and dry them off with a rag, then I'm going to go ahead and scuff it with some red scuff pad so that the paint would adhere to it. And after I do that, before I paint, I'm going to go ahead and spray it and dry it off with Prep-Sol, which pretty much is just to make sure the surface is ready for, to paint it. I just went around the car and I pretty much cleaned those parts very well. I'm just gonna scuff lightly over it just so that I can get some scratches in there so that the paint can stick to it. Alright guys, we're ready for paint. Let's paint it. So basically guys, you want to stay about, give it some space. Very light coat. If you have a respirator, put a respirator on. It's best to do this ventilated, but at the moment it's cold outside, so I can't ventilate that well because I need to keep this nice and warm. Do what you can as far as ventilation. If you have a mask, wear a charcoal mask. Don't worry about it getting red 100% because you're gonna need to do at least 2 or 3 coats for it to take the color. Now guys, we move on to coat number 2. Action! What I ended up doing was I gave it 3 coats of red, let them flash between 10 to 15 minutes between each coat. It's cold outside, so I let it dry overnight before throwing any clear on it. Now I'll begin the clearing process. I let the clear dry overnight, just to make sure that it's dry before I put my hands on it and start putting it all back together. I'm gonna do that now. When you start putting it back together, make sure you go ahead and clean all your parts. Alright guys, so you got all your hardware clean and your brake pads and everything cleaned up. Now what we're going to do is start the process of putting everything back together. So first of all, let's take the rotor and put it back on the vehicle. Take a lug nut, put it on just to hold it in there. As you can see, it wants to come out. So let's just put that on there to hold it so it doesn't move while we put on the carrier. Finger tight, that's it. Now take your carrier and your carrier bolt, which are the 2 big ones, and go ahead and reinstall your carrier very carefully. Get that started. Get the other one started. So grab your 19mm and fasten the carrier. So I went to get a universal joint. Get a lot of position in there, and that works much better. Tighten that up. Go to the bottom one. The bolts on those 2 bolts, make sure they're tight. I put some weight on those. Once they're tight that you can't go a little bit more, and that's it. Don't strip anything. Now you want to take your hardware for the brakes and put those in there. When they go in pretty much exactly where they should be. Now you need a little bit of anti-seize lubricant. Put some right there. Do that on the top. That should be good. Now you want to go ahead and take your brake pads. Go ahead and just like that. So, got your brake pads in. Now you want to take your caliper and you want to install your caliper. Go ahead and grab your caliper and start the bolt. Holding them nice and tight. Go ahead and get your caliper in there, just like that. So now, take your 14 millimeter and tighten those up. One is done. There it is. Also guys, don't forget about your brake line. I almost forgot. You want to definitely put your brake line back where it goes. And just give it a little stops and then little quarter turn. That's it. You're all set. Alright, so now we're in the rear. Go ahead and grab your carrier bolts. The big ones. Take your carrier. Grab your second bolt. Once you got both of those hand tight, so grab your 17 and your 1/2 inch drive ratchet, and let's tighten these two big bolts up. Now go ahead and grab your carrier hardware. Put that in there. That in there, just like that. Yeah, make sure those are seated correctly. Put a little bit of lube right where it's gonna be sliding in and out. Okay. Grab your brake pads. And install the brake pads. I always have to do the front one first, just make sure I got it correctly. Just like that. Go ahead and grab your top one. Bottom one. Put it in there just like that. Grab your 14 millimeter. Just give it a little. It's done. Now a little bit more. That's it. You don't need those super tight because you will damage it. And sometimes it'll move around like this, like you're seeing this one moving. That one's gonna a wrench. So you're gonna grab a 17 there. This one didn't really need it, but I just double checking it. This one you need to hold while you screw this in, and it's just very little, like that, and you're good. And voila, there you go, boys and girls. I think it looks fresh. What do you think? And again guys, don't forget your ABS line. I'm gonna put it back where it was because I took it out so that I can get the caliper out of the, through there. So you want to go ahead and put that clip back in, put the line under that little crevice, and then go ahead and put your clip in down there. Right there, there's a clip. Put that all in there, and don't forget to reattach the brake line right there, and that would be a 12 millimeter. Take your 12 millimeter and go ahead and that's a quarter turn, and we're done. There it is guys, it's on the floor. Well guys, until next time, later.